Hey everyone, Sly47 here. Welcome back to Push Yourself. Now, in the first episode of this series, we covered AP versus HE, but there's a third ammo type that we might need to talk about called SAP, or Semi-Armor Piercing. So let's go over it today, what it does, and also kind of how commander skills work with it, and how maybe you can have some fun with this type of shell, especially if you hate DDs and light cruisers. You know, like this.
Please disperse! Nothing to see here, please!
Or, you know, like this. Hi, buddy. Welcome to hell!
Bam!
13 kilometers with full sap shells. And survey says...
Okay.
No, don't do that, don't do that. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Alright, let's jump into it. And let's see what SAP is and exactly how it works. So what is semi-armor piercing, or SAP for short? It's specifically a round that offsets the amount of penetration has for increased amounts of damage. Now, I separated it from the other two because compared to the other two, SAP is both simple and kind of hard to explain. It's definitely more of a, you gotta kind of learn it type of shell in many ways. But general rule I can give you at least is you use AP on battleships and heavy cruisers, and SAP on light cruisers and destroyers. Now, carriers, actually, it's a grab bag. Sometimes the SAP works, sometimes it doesn't. You'll have to test it out. I personally prefer AP on them, but I digress. Now, a lot of people, when they're going down the Italian lines that have these, they're going to mostly shoot SAP, and that is a big mistake. You are losing a lot of potential damage using the AP that is just way more consistent on heavy targets, and sometimes even more consistent on light cruisers. SAP is very much a situational shell that you want to use, and to kind of highlight that situation is there's actually a little bit of a way to 110% your damage, kind of push yourself just a little bit further. And what that is actually use SAP like AP at close ranges on heavy targets, because you can use that, lack of penetration but on light armor, but yet get that just a little bit increased amount of damage. It's not a for sure thing, because if you don't hit right, you're actually just getting the belt armor and basically no pen, you're out. You're not getting as much damage. So generally on these ships that have SAP, you're actually going to be shooting a lot of AP, and your SAP is going to be that situational shell that comes up when, per se, hey, a destroyer is coming at you, light cruisers coming at you. It's going to be generally a better pick. But at times, this is the problem, is at times when you are close enough to a target, because a lot of time the Italian ships don't have great accuracy, you can hit particular parts of the ship and hit them with SAP and still be able to do that a little bit more damage that SAP offers you within that situation on that lighter armored part of the ship. So yeah, it's kind of a grab bag. It's kind of a interesting shell that is much more of a situational shell than what people are making out to be. It's not something you should shoot all the time. So now, let's get into kind of an interesting conversation on commander skills that affect SAP particularly. So the two commander skills I specifically want to talk about are SAP Plus, or High Loading Density Gun Propellant Charge, that is on legendary Italian commanders, and of course APCS, or Armor Piercing Cap Shells. And I kind of have to break this up into which line are you going down? Are you going down the Venezia line, or are you going down the Colombo line? So on Venezia, in my opinion, SAP Plus makes that line straight up better. There is a clear difference in the power that SAP Plus adds to it. It allows your SAP to be much more nimble on so many different targets that you're handling as a cruiser, and it just feels better to use that than APCS on the Venezia line, specifically in the Amalfi, Black Amalfi, everything else that I've tried it on. But if you're going down the Colombo line, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of a toss-up. And the reason is that your guns are undergunned for the situation. And in the Colombo, there's only a few targets that you're actually going to be wanting to use your SAP on. Of course, being that the Smolensk, the Colbert a little bit, and Kleber and all the DDs that are all there at tier 10, where you're going to be shooting your APCS at everything else in that tier. And because you're undergunned, you're going to want that increase in penetration and capabilities. So in my opinion, a legendary commander actually for those BBs is not as good, even though Luigi with the increased precise aim ability as well, that could be beneficial. But I'm not going to lie, SAP Plus on the Columbo didn't really feel like it did much for it. The only thing that I would say is it gave it a quality of life. It allowed you to say, hey, I have SAP loaded, I need to shoot at this battleship, switch to AP next. It made it feel better to shoot that SAP and not feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to shoot this and I'm going to get a lot of half pens, I'm going to get a lot of no pens, stuff like that. So when you are dealing with a Columbo, this is definitely more of a toss-up. You have to figure out which one you like more by playing and seeing exactly what you use, how you use it, because your SAP already does so much damage to the ships that it does already work with, and then you're using AP on everything else. So it's very much a situational time to use SAP, where in the Venezia, you tend to kind of switch back and forth with the two. So love to know in the comments down below what's everyone's opinion on the Columbo line, because I believe the Venezia definitely use SAP Plus, but Columbo, it's very much, what's your choice? How do you choose? So let us know in the comments down below what you use. And that is SAP. Yeah, I'm going to end this video in horrible wordplay. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something. And let me know what your opinions are down below on SAP, when you should, when you shouldn't use it, if I was right or wrong. And of course, let me know also, how are you feeling about the Italian BBs that are out right now? They're out there. They're pretty powerful. They're pretty powerful. Certain tiers are definitely more powerful than others. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about them. Finally, if you happen to have learned anything from this video or just liked the video in general, click that like button down below. It really helps the video out. If you haven't subscribed, why not hit the subscribe button? Maybe even hit the notification bell so you can see whenever a new video goes live on the channel. And if you want to join more of the community, maybe over on Discord, Facebook, Twitch, or even help support the channel even further on Patreon, all the links are, of course, in the link tree down below. Thank you all for making this such a fun time to sit in front of my camera for 3 to 4 hours a week, and then of course an extra hour of editing, and still making it so much fun and worth it to do this. And of course a special thanks for all the support from the Patreon members. Y'all just make this possible. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Peace.